amazing. But that goes to show you that food plots, cold fronts, and waiting to hunt some of your best stands until the time's right, it pays off.
This story really starts in November of 2013. Joe was hunting and rattled in a really nice buck and noticed his tall tines on his right side, and he drew back on him. Then getting a closer look, once the deer had approached, he noticed it was fairly small bodied deer, and he elected to pass, and he thought he was just a 3-year-old. Unfortunately, Joe did not have a camera or a cameraman with him at the time. As I began hunting later that year, he told me about that deer, and we elected to name him Lucky, because if it wasn't for Joe looking up before squeezing the release on that deer, he'd be more likely to be dead. Fast forward to the summer of 2014, I went out and did some summer scouting over a highly traveled area to our ag beans. At this point in time, we had our trail cameras out for some time and identified some deer remaining from the year before, one of those being Lucky. As I began to watch the deer filter out, I noticed a rack and immediately identified that deer as Lucky. His rack had definitely grown, but after seeing his body size, we really weren't convinced. We kind of wrote this deer off of the hit list, and boy, were we wrong. In mid-September, after spotting the deer in an area that we call the green field, after work hours, we moved into position into a blind to hunt this area. As the evening wove down, I was surprised when I heard Joe whisper frantically, "Buck, buck, buck, here I am serious." Joe asked me to identify the deer. When I got a look at him, I immediately recognized it was Lucky. Joe was really pushing me to get ready for the shot, but I had my mind set on another deer. And after much debate, I gave in and decided I would take that deer if I saw him again. After all, he was a mature 4-year-old. This is the kind of deer we were after. This is where the story twists. A few weeks later, Joe and I went out on a cold front to hunt one evening in a different spot and encountered a deer we later came to call L4D2. Little did Joe and I know how similar this deer was to Lucky. On Saturday, October 11th, I decided to move a stand into our now proclaimed best area, the Grove. We found just the smallest of crevices to fit 2 stands into an Osage orange tree in there. On Thursday, October 16th, we got a cold front and a northwest wind. Perfect to hunt the Grove stand. I went in there looking for a deer named Hook Brows, but I wasn't going to pass up another opportunity at Lucky. The next few hours were some that I will never forget as long as I live. Excited today. We are going to a place we call the Grove. It is north of the green field that we have hunted several times, and out of the blind out there on the green field we had a really cool encounter with a buck that we call Lucky. He's definitely on our hit list. We are going to push in a little bit closer to their bedding up in the Grove over top of this food plot. One of my favorite stand locations on the property. So follow us along and go check it out. Welcome to the Grove. This is just a really neat spot. We're in one of my favorite trees. It's Osage orange tree.
and we're pretty well camouflaged. Need to do a little bit of cleanup work on one of our lanes, but we got a big lane out to the northwest, looking right into the heart of this food plot. We got a wind coming out of the northwest today, which sets up really nicely, basically coming right over the top of this hill. With the beans drying up and them not cutting through the green field anymore, which is just south of us, this is going to be a prime location from here on out.
So, we just got set up here. And I have to work a little bit later than Uriah. And he usually texts me and tells me all's clear. So I got dressed and put my phone in my pocket. I only got like a few minute walk. So I come walking in where we're at, and he's waving at me to stop. And I couldn't tell what he was saying, so I kept coming up. So I was climbing up the stand, and there's what we thought was a 3-year-old, and I actually seen him on the hoof. He's a 2-year-old 10-pointer. We call him Red Man because he was shedding velvet. And just when we got a picture of him, so we call him Red Man. But man, he looks great. But that was pretty cool. I think he ended up silhouetting me or Uriah, one of us too. But it didn't look like he got too spooked. But it's cold today, and it's a little windy. We're on a food plot, and who knows what's going to happen. Today's one of the better days of the season, so we'll see what happens. Stick with us.
to harvest a doe. Of course, I was going to shoot a mature buck if he came out. Oh my goodness!
He ran at that doe, dude. Did you see?
Dude, did you see the food plot flying up in the air? Oh
Give me some, dude. Yeah.
Well, luckily Joe said there was a buck because I was getting ready to draw back on that doe, but he's like buck, and I thought it was L4D2 who we had an encounter with before. He just has a G4 on his left side, but Lucky's got 2 brow tines on his right side, and we both noticed it was Lucky, and so I took the shot. Hopefully I can find him.
Yeah. Tell him about how we passed him.
If I find him, that'd be my first buck I've ever drawn back on and ever shot.
It's probably a 150-inch 10-pointer, dude.
Little fawn's right there.
Oh, man, I don't even care.
We passed on him earlier in the green field, which is just south of us out of the blind. Just wasn't the best shot. Plus, we didn't know how good he looked, and we weren't for sure if he was a 4-year-old. Joe passed on him last year and thought for sure he was a 3-year-old. That's why his name's Lucky, because Joe drew back on him. But passed him because he thought he was a 3-year-old, but he, after us seeing him out in the green field, out of the blind, Joe for sure knew he was a good, mature 4-year-old. And me just seeing him right there, you can tell he's just a big-bodied deer. And that is just awesome.
He's wheezing.
Doe's blowing at us.
No, that's him wheezing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, thank the Lord.
Yeah, we're gonna give him. We're gonna.
Trust he dies quick.
We're gonna review the shot, and we'll go from there. Oh man. So we just got done looking at the footage, sitting here in the truck. The shot looked a little far back. The deer was heavily quartered away. Being Uriah's first buck, he, he's not his first buck he shot at. He's not as, common with what to do here. So me and him reviewed the footage. Kyle's here too, and looked a little further back than we'd like. We still think with that quartering away, it's probably did some damage to that deer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back down here and we're gonna take a look at the blood. We think best case scenario it got up there near the vitals. Worst case scenario, I think he gut shot that deer. So we're gonna go down here, take a look, and see if we can't find any good blood. If we find good blood, we might go on with some tracking. If we definitely find some sign of a gut shot, we're gonna back out.
Buck, we had a lot of camera photos in the front of the property earlier on in the grove. We determined he was a mature deer and put him on the hit list. So we moved into the grove, which is just north of the green field. Once their patterns changed a little bit, we moved into the grove. I hung a couple stands about a week and a half ago, and we waited on a cold front. We waited for the right time to move in there, and tonight was our night. And just so happened this big boy showed up, and here he lays. And it turned out he ran down the hill about 100 yards. We thought it was a little bit of a bad shot. We started tracking him,
we found some good blood. And so we kept going. We didn't hear anything. And sure enough, down here in this little clearing, here he lay. So just really want to thank the Lord for blessing me with good meat and a nice little trophy. And may God bless each and every one of you. And thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail.
So, as many of you have already figured out, that was not Lucky. That was L4D2. I don't know how we really got it wrong, except for the fact that that split brow tine, we had never noticed that on L4D2 before. We knew Lucky had that characteristic. And the missing G4 on his right side, maybe we both thought it was just broken off. I don't know. But we got it wrong. But either way, it's not a big deal. We got caught up in the moment a little bit. A lot of excitement going on, especially being my first buck harvest. And Joe was so excited to be there and share that moment with me. And that was our first buck harvest as hunting partners. So all around, just a lot of excitement, a little bit of confusion mixed in with it. No big deal. We were doing exactly what Joe and I strive to do, which is wildlife and land management and bow hunting mature whitetails. That is what we absolutely love to do. We try to do it to our very best knowledge and ability, and we'll continue to do so and hopefully get better at it and maybe not make so many mistakes like that. But another good thing to the story is that Lucky is still out there, and Lord willing, we'll get at least a great encounter with him this upcoming season, but we're really thinking we could probably get him on the ground. So, but we'll see what happens. Time will tell. But I want to thank you all very much for watching another episode of the Whitetail Factor, and may God richly bless each and every one of you.